Hi, and welcome to That's Entertainment, the weekly entertainment show where we look at all the interesting news from last week, this week. We start this episode with some worrying news from the UK, where entertainment film distributors have pulled the fantasy epic The Green Knight from the theatrical release calendar, just 2 weeks ahead of its planned August 6th release. The decision was taken on due to the rise of COVID infections in the UK, which have been getting closer to around 50,000 people per day. Although the death rates have stayed reassuringly low, the growth in infections had led to a so-called pingdemic, with an ever-increasing number of Brits notified via phones that they've been in close contact with someone diagnosed with COVID and therefore must self-isolate for days. The good news is that The Green Knight is still scheduled to open in select European territories and North America at the end of this month, but the recent rise in COVID cases is having a further impact on UK film and TV production, which, according to a report from the Creative UK Group, has already taken a £2.6 billion hit as a result of the pandemic. Productions have been forced to take a temporary break because at least one crew member has tested positive for COVID. And this includes Sky AMC's modern gangster tale Gangs of London, Netflix acclaimed period drama Bridgerton, stage musical adaptation Matilda, also from Netflix, and HBO's Game of Thrones spin-off House of Dragons. Shows in LA have also been affected too, and those forced to stop filming include Season 4 of the HBO sci-fi drama Westworld, Season 2 of Hulu's Tale of the Black Cartoonist Woke, and Season 10 of FX's acclaimed American Horror Story. The Hollywood Reporter has been speculating that the industry's next COVID casualty could be the annual trade show CinemaCon in Las Vegas in August, where the studios traditionally bring along some of their biggest stars to unveil their upcoming movies to US exhibitors. Disney have announced that they will not be attending the event in late August, according to a report in Deadline. Disney is concerned about the spike in COVID cases in Clark County, Nevada, and they've been monitoring the situation in Las Vegas and mulling plans for several weeks. One insider says they're making the comfort and safety of their employees and talent a top priority. Disney will screen a movie, which they have traditionally done at previous CinemaCons, and there's a possibility of a virtual presentation. The Hollywood Reporter piece revealed, as of Friday, the rest of the major studios were still intending to stage in-person presentations, although few stars are expected to attend this year because of the pandemic. The White House has declared southern Nevada as a sustained hotspot in recent days amid a sharp spike in COVID-19 cases, while Los Angeles County officials have warned its residents against traveling to the gambling mecca. Disney have already been facing criticism from US exhibitors. The National Association of Theatre Owners, aka NATO, is holding the studio accountable for the huge drop Black Widow saw at the US cinemas. Deadline's Anthony D'Alessandro reported, NATO asks, how can a well-reviewed, well-received, highly anticipated Marvel title underperform, leading to a first weekend Friday to Saturday collapse of 41% and a 67% drop in week 2? The organization comes to the same conclusions as we did in regards to Black Widow getting her legs picked off. Piracy and Disney Plus at home cannibalization that impacts not just on the box office, but the picture's subsequent home window as well. The film has proved to be a great success on Disney Plus, where subscribers can watch it at home for a $30 premiere access. Following the studio's announcement that Black Widow generated $60 million for the streaming service over its first weekend, comes news from research company Samba TV that the film has now been seen by 2 million Disney Plus subscribers, with 900,000 of those watching after its first weekend. If Samba TV's reported 1.1 million Disney Plus weekend viewers generated that 60 million, then, by our reckoning, the studio must now have earned over $100 million from the film's Disney Plus premiere access. But according to NATO, the long-term potential of the film has been harmed by its simultaneous release. They began by pointing out that although Disney will keep significantly more of the $30 premium access transaction fee than they would have from the cinema ticket sales, they don't keep it all. Apparently, around 15% will go to platform providers like Amazon Fire Stick and Apple TV+. Perhaps more importantly, NATO pointed out that Premier Access revenue is not newfound money, but was pulled forward from a more traditional PVOD window, which is no longer an option. Piracy no doubt further affected Black Widow's performance and will affect its future performance in international markets where it has yet to open. Also available on a myriad of illegal streaming sites all over the internet. Both of those points are valid, and as we've discussed last week, the digital debut can impact on downstream value of an individual film, but what NATO don't take into account is the importance of the regular and ongoing revenue Disney Plus subscribers bring in. It's no secret that streaming platforms are a huge priority for all the studios that have their own. And this week, Warner Brothers announced plans to supply HBO Max with 10 exclusive film productions in 2022. HBO Max also revealed that they added 2.8 million US subscribers in Q2 this year, giving them 47 million North American users. The streamer also added 760,000 new subscribers overseas, with a total of 67.5 million global customers. Netflix have also updated their user numbers this week, with their global subscribers increase by over 1.5 million from Q1. That's up from 207 million to 209, or just over 209 million, with the biggest percentage growth coming from the Australia-Pacific region. However, it wasn't all great news. For the first time, the world's largest streaming platform saw its North American numbers drop by 430,000 people, or subscriptions. As the Screen Daily reported, Netflix executives cited choppiness due to the ongoing impact of COVID, but the broadband TV news offered a harsher assessment. Although the company put this mostly down to its large membership base in the region, coupled with a seasonally smaller quarter for acquisitions, industry observers have pointed out that the loss was double what it had previously predicted. Netflix did make one significant announcement, though. They plan to offer their customers video games as part of their monthly subscription. In a letter to shareholders, the company announced that they are still in the early stages of further expanding into games, and they will be primarily focused on games for mobile devices. Greg Peters, Netflix COO and Chief Product Officer, subsequently offered up a little bit more information during the video Q&A. The plan is to exploit the IP that we create, amazing worlds, storylines, and characters. We know the fans want deeper engagement. He went on to say that there will be no ads or in-game purchases, just the most entertaining game experience. With the numbers declining in their most developed market, it's easy to understand why Netflix are planning to offer their customers more. There's never been a greater competition in the streaming space, with Variety reporting on new research from Kantar Media. Only 3.9% of US homes added a new subscription streaming service in the last quarter. That's down from 12.9% a year ago, which marks the largest drop in several years. Variety also commented, Kantar's research demonstrates that for now, Amazon Prime is winning the subscriber acquisition war, thanks in no small part to the perk of a 2-day shipping that comes from joining Prime. Amazon accounted for an estimated 24.2% of new SVOD subscribers in that quarter, followed by HBO Max, Disney Plus, Discovery Plus, and Netflix. Netflix's slowing rate of domestic growth explains why the global streaming leader is taking steps to add streaming video games to its platform. And finally, here's our roundup of some of the latest production news from streamers. Seasons 1 and 2 of recently cancelled network sci-fi drama Manifest continue to do exceptionally well on Netflix in the US. Despite passing on an early opportunity to pick up the show, it now seems the streamer may be involved in a deal with broadcaster NBC and producer Warner Brothers TV that could see its return for a 4th season. If so, it would join Lucifer as a Warner Brothers show that was also saved by a rival to the studio's own HBO Max streaming service. Brits George Mackay, Kelly MacDonald, and Hugh Bonneville will have signed up for a new thriller commissioned by Netflix. London set I Came By will follow a rebellious young graffiti artist who targets the homes of the wealthy. Anthony Mackie and David Harbour will star in another Netflix movie, Family Adventure, We Have a Ghost, about a family who find a ghost haunting their new home. And the award-winning producers Damon Lindelof and Matt Reeves are teaming up with British filmmaker Oscar Sharp for HBO Max's The Human Condition. Action star Jason Momoa and a professional rock climber Chris Sharma will present The Climb for HBO Max. And finally, Paramount Plus are resurrecting a long-dormant but loved IP as they have plans for Grease, The Ride of the Pink Ladies. A prequel series has been confirmed. That's all for this week. Goodbye.